from 1909, when we had the Fraser Commission, which brought in the idea of curriculum for the Asians, curriculum for the whites, and curriculum for the whites. The curriculum was changed. In 1924, there was a Pelstock Commission which brought in the idea of agriculture, that the rural community needs to understand what takes place in the rural setup. But at the time of independence, sir, the first Kenya Education Commission, chaired by Ominde, did away with what we call the racial segregation in our schools. This is what brought even what we call the national goals of education, the entry age. All these things were brought in right immediately after independence. But that was not enough. In 1976, there was a National Educational Committee for Educational Objectives and Policies, chaired by Gachati. A number of us refer to them as the Gachati Commission. But it is not Gachati Commission. He is the one who chaired. In 1983, we had the Presidential Working Party, which brought in the establishment of a second university. And Moi University was formed as the second university, not Kenyatta. I know quite a number of us being teachers, you could have gone to Kenyatta and thought that Kenyatta was the second. No, it was Moi. That was 1983. In 1988, there was a Presidential Working Party for Manpower Development for this decade and beyond, chaired by Kamunge, the one that brought in the idea of co-sharing in our schools. That explains the various roles, and you can see the various stakeholders seated here today for that particular purpose. In 2002, when the NAC government came into power, they had wanted to overhaul the education system, but they realized that curriculum change is a very expensive venture, and therefore they only reduced the number of subjects. That is why initially we had 700 at KCP, and then it was reduced to 500. Ladies and gentlemen, why am I taking you through this? I'm taking you through this just to explain the importance of this meeting, because the Kenya government has embarked on what we call competency-based education. In the competency-based education, it is important that we understand our roles. The head teachers and the principals are going to be the key stakeholders in implementing this particular curriculum. In 2017, through what we call the Basic Education Curriculum Framework, there are a few ideas that were brought in, one of which was competency, the competencies. The other one was the value system. And you know how our values have gone very low. To the extent that even when you are seated as very good members as you are, somebody drops 1,000 shillings in front of you, and you just use your long leg, and then it reaches your pocket. That is the level that our value system had gone. And therefore, as the principals, we are bringing you on board to understand your role. Ours is to understand our role. What will be your role as a principal of that particular school? If you look at, let me just go through something here, little that I've written. I'm just about, normally I don't speak so long, so don't worry. we are getting to the senior school, that is grade 10, 11, and 12. The senior school comprises 3 years of education for learners between 15 and 18. It lays the foundation for further education and training at the tertiary level and the world of work. Learners will specialize in a career path of choice based on their potential, interest, and personality. Learners will undertake core subjects and elective subjects based on career choice, interest, personality, and aptitude, and already you have them. One of your major roles will be to guide. You need to guide those learners. I know nearly for the last 10 years, they have experienced the CBC or CBE. But you are experiencing it for only maybe 1 month. I know you are facing a lot of challenges. Understanding those learners with those values, with those competencies. I know you sit there and sometimes you wonder, will I continue? We want to encourage you, and that's why we are bringing you on board, that you are up to the task. Ladies and gentlemen, the role of the principal will be to market the school. That's your role. You have to market the school. You don't just sit there and then say that, okay, the government has brought us these learners. There are so many paths, ways. You know the 3 of them. Which one will you now advance in as a school? Why can't you say, me, this my school now will be the School of Science, specializing in physical education. And learners will come to your school because there is physical education in that school. Maybe you have decided that, me, this is going to be a computer hub, and a number of learners will just be learning computer in my school. Apart from the many pathways that I'm going to do, I'm going to specialize in this, because that is where we are moving. It is important as educationists that we understand our roles and we play our roles. We will not sit there to start complaining. It is us who will come up with a solution. And that explains why those learners, they are called the 21st century learners. And they have various characteristics that they are supposed to exhibit. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to bore you, but I want to tell you that this kind of meeting that our MP has started is the right one, and it will help us. It will gear us towards doing exactly what is expected of us. Can we have maybe some cigars, specialized, that even when you are in the US, you can go to some cigar and there's a particular thing that it is known for. It will not just be any other thing that you are doing. We have now to differentiate schools from one another by what you are doing. And that will be your initiative. As we will only guide you. I know we still have maybe challenges like teachers. True. But there are quite a number of principals who have even approached me that I want to start French in my school. Nobody bars you from starting French. You will be different from any other person. Okay? Yes. Let's say you want to start aviation. Aviation is not only about the aeroplanes. There are so many things that you can do. About metal work. Okay? Just do things that are unique to your situation. That is what will make the difference. Otherwise, I want to wish you well, even as we meet. I want to promise you, sir, that we've been having a very good teamwork with these people. And I want to believe that we have to move on. Because our 844 system, I want to say, and I'm sorry to say this, has not been performing very well in Kakamega North. That's the reality. But the problem might not be at the level of senior school. The problem is down there. Because if has not been performing very well in Kakamega North. That's the reality. But the problem might not be at the level of senior school. The problem is down there. Because if you admit even if you are a very good teacher, it is not very easy. So our entry behavior in most of our secondary school is called the value addition. To what extent are you also being retooled? So that even when the parents come there, when you want to talk to them about the new curriculum, do you understand what we are talking about? Or you are relying on others to tell you what is supposed to be done? Thank you so much. God bless you. Allow me to welcome my counterpart, Madam.
Our Honorable MP, Malava Constituency, our Honorable MCS, the NG, CDF Committee, our principals, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I believe it's still morning. Good morning. God is good. And all the time, God is good, and that is His nature. Wow. I want to really appreciate my colleague TSC. I didn't know you have really mastered. I'm actually perplexed. But I want to say he was talking to his people, the principals, their roles, their responsibilities. As I stand here, I want to articulate the policies of the ministry as pertains the implementation of the competency-based education. And therefore, I will I'll be very straight and to the point. Number one, I want to appreciate our Honorable MP, because this is the day all of us are waiting for. This is a day that we have really yearned for, and it has not been forthcoming. And therefore, Mheshimiwa, we want to take the earliest opportunity to just tell you that, like you requested, that you wanted to meet the principals. Here they are, and indeed, I want to believe they are prepared for this session. And as we look forward to whatever is going to transpire today, I just want to know, are we a full house? Are we a full house? You know your neighbors. You know the best thing you can do is to check. Is my neighbor here? Have you confirmed that your neighbor is within this gathering? Your neighbor, because I believe that we're supposed to be 53 of us. I tried counting and I lost count along the way. Are we 53? Are we 53? Yes. Okay, thank you. And then number two, I communicated very clearly that you come with your status file. Those who didn't understand what the status file was, I did explain on the wall. So I believe each one of us has a file. And the file has all the information about the school. It has information about the infrastructure requirements of your school. And then it is also detailing the requirements in terms in order of priority. I believe we all have that. Even if we have anybody who has been sent by the principal of the school, I believe all this was given unto you, and therefore want from there. Number two, I want to mention about 100% transition, 100% transition for the grade 10 class. As I stand here, I want to say that I'm indeed very happy because we have been working together with the Ministry of Interior in mopping up our learners who may still be at home because of problems to do with school fee payment, maybe lack of uniforms and what have you. The president was very particular. He said learners with or without uniform should report to schools. And indeed, those who heeded the advice went to your schools. And so far, I've not received any complaint in the office to the effect that you send them back home. Or maybe they are still on the way. Are they still on the way? Are they still on the way? Have you, the question is, have you received learners with or without uniform? those who have been brought in by chiefs, assistant chiefs, and such like. Yes, and you are supposed to receive them. And I want to appreciate our Honorable MP. Why? Because you are now assured of the payment of their fees. It is just lunch levy. So let them come. And in case you hear of any, make sure that they come to your schools. Maybe one perturbing, something I've just had, something that is rather disturbing is a report, and I think we need to share that when some of our learners are mobbed, they flatly refuse to go to some of our schools. I don't want to give the reasons, but I think you may be having the reasons with yourselves. What I'm saying is, my colleague TSC mentioned very clearly, kindly market your school so that even learners can really struggle to gain entry into your school. But thank you for allowing the learners to be part of your school community. And then still talking about that 100% transition in terms of the learning materials. The government has been supplying textbooks to our schools. So in line with that, there is a request that I made on the Kesha wall concerning data towards, or rather identifying the various learning areas and the enrollment in those areas. I want to report that the deadline for the submission of this data was yesterday 9 a.m. But as I stand here, I think there are 12 schools which are pulling me down. I don't want to mention you. You know yourself. Kindly, if you have not given me information about textbooks, as was requested on the Kesha wall, kindly communicate with your office in school. Let me have that data so that I can also send a cascade to the county, because it is the county that is supposed to send the information to Nairobi via some link that was provided. Of course, it was in the circular that I gave. This one is not meant for you. You are not supposed to send that information directly to Nairobi. Rather, it is the county. But my team, as you sit there, want to say we are indeed very happy. This is a very opportunity for us to say whatever we require, bring out our requirements very clearly before our Honorable MP, because like I began, I said this is something that has never happened, and since it is happening now, let us really make use of such an opportunity. I believe we are going to move places, and in future I believe this is going to go a long way in ensuring that even in terms of academic performance, Kakamega North shall not be an underdog. We are going to move thanks to the efforts our Honorable MP is putting in to ensure that our learners are in school, to ensure that our schools are developed so that whatever is required to make us come up academically is going to take off. And Mheshimiwa, allow me to also make a request, and of course it's just related to the academic performance of Malava. I know soon we shall be having our academic conference for the sub-county, and it is our prayer that you find a day and join us. Ndio team Kakamega North. Yeah, find a day so that you join us in this academic conference. Come and have a word with us. The dates shall be communicated, and I think I'll let you know when we shall be having this conference. We shall really be waiting to hear from you when we hold that academic conference. I want to say I'm happy, and I don't want to take too long saying maybe what is not very important, because this was meant to be a principal's consultative meeting with the Honorable MP for Malava Constituency. In other words, I'm saying it is his day, and therefore I want to end my speech there. You all know me, but for those who do not know me, I'm Chisumi Roslin, the Sub-Town Director of Education, Kakamega North. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me, and may God bless you.
Asante, that was from the Education Office. Teachers, hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. I think I'm liking the speed, and Mheshimiwa had assured us not more than 2 hours, because walimu, they are disciplined people. Sindio? The next on stage is our DCC. I'm a representative of the DCC who will make his remarks, and then we take to the next step.
Mheshimiwa, principals, and other invited guests, good morning. My name is Dr. Samson Sagre, Senior Assistant County Commissioner Shivanga, standing in for DCC, Kapras East Sub-County. I'm a Doctor of Philosophy in Peace and Conflict Studies, and in fact, I'm very impressed with what our Honorable MP is doing, because he's addressing some of the pertinent issues that lead to conflicts within our areas of jurisdiction. I want to thank you, Mheshimiwa, for this important exercise, and you have pressed the rightful button for the socio-economic development of your constituency, because education is very key, and it is a genesis to anything that pertaining to development of the area, and therefore you'll have very easy time when you move with these principals and other teachers to improve the education of your people within the constituency. I want to thank the principals for the good work that you've done, looking at the results of the last year KCSE results, that we are taking almost 79 students directed to universities, which is a milestone to us as a constituency. Because if our people get learned, we shall move higher steps in life than a community that has got so many people who are not going to school. I want to encourage the principals to make sure that you improve the status of your schools from where you are to a reasonable level. Because during these exam results, we have some schools that really did not perform well, and the others performed reasonably. So it is better we work on the performance of our schools, and even other areas that we feel can be improved to improve education status of our students. On matter of security, there are some teachers or principals who are not ready to report some of the funny things that are taking place within their schools. I want you to get in touch with a number of assistant chiefs and chiefs within your areas of jurisdiction, so that in case of any instance, you report on time, so that we can take the necessary action to calm the situation. Because our duty, our major duty is to make sure that we have a conducive environment for the learning to take place within your schools. So we want you to report if we have some students with some funny behaviors, maybe those ones indulged in illicit brews, drugs and substance abuse, so that we can intervene on time to make sure that our society is rescued from very funny behaviors. On matters implementing the government policies, it is a directive from His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya that we must have 100% transition of grade 10 students of grade 10 students to schools. I think our team from the ground, the chiefs and assistant chiefs, have done a very commendable job. And I'm sure almost every child is in school, and it is now your obligation to make sure that these students are retained in schools. Now that our MP is working on logistics on how these students can be maintained in those schools. So apart from that, we want to request you that we work as a team and embrace what our president is doing to develop this country so that we can all celebrate in the future. To our principals also, I want to urge you to work with the local administration as a team and as a community together to move this place ahead. Without wasting much time, I want to thank you all for responding positively to this meeting. Let us give our Honorable MP time to talk to us and give us a direction on how we can move on within this constituency. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Asante sana. Now it's time, teachers. This meeting is actually Mheshimiwa's meeting with the principals of Malava. We were told it's an engagement meeting. Now you are asked to come with the files. Kindly forward them to me. Kindly forward them to me. Kindly. Nani, where's my team? Staff, kindly forward them to me. The files. I hope each file has the name of the school and the priority of the activities to be handled within the institution. Tuharakishe kidogo tafadhali. Mheshimiwa, as they are bringing in their files, the constituency is having engagement with these teachers in several aspects. One of them matters bursary, the other is matters infrastructure. So as we go on, I hope you have factored the two. Let us not be outside the NGCDF Act. Senor, we have functions that were devolved to the county government, and we have functions that are supposed to be handled by the national government, where Mheshimiwa is our representative. So we will go through the files with the guidance of Mheshimiwa and the appointed team. That's the Oversight Education Committee, and you will have the feedback. As I want to take this opportunity, I welcome back our TC Director, kindly.
Thank you so much. We are doing well. This is an engagement, but already you have identified your various needs. So I don't want you to start talking about your needs. We cannot do it. Every school saying I need this, we will not do that. That's the essence of us giving you the opportunity to come up with those status. And I want to believe you have done your status well. If you have not done it well, don't leave this place. You can even make those corrections before we leave. Okay? Teachers are used to making corrections. I want to give opportunity, and I want to take the shortest time for that engagement. And I want to give at least 5 people. Just cross-cutting issues. The ones that are for a particular school, please just leave those ones. But we can have cross-cutting issues we can talk about and maybe see a way forward. Let me go down to South. You know, very soon we'll be having 2 offices. Very soon. The giant Kakamega North is giving birth very soon. Good. Yeah? Maybe somebody to pick in a few of those things, please. Just 2 minutes is enough. If we take 10 minutes, that is enough for us.
Asante sana, Director. Mheshimiwa, mimi ni jina langu nilivyosema ni Laban Sikolia, Senior Principal Shamberere Boys High School. Kule South, Mheshimiwa, kuna maneno ambayo utatusaidia kwa education. Kwanza, South Kabras is an entity. Mheshimiwa, hata tulifanya huko mtihani kule Shikutse, na ukileta administration close to the people kule Shikutse by bringing a director there, tutakuwa tumepata services close there. Mheshimiwa, the road network to our schools, some of our schools, tukienda hata mitihani huwa ni mbaya sana, lakini tunakusii kwa connection yako na uwezo wako kama mheshimiwa wetu, ukisaidia barabara zile zikuwe mzuri, mashule yetu yatakuwa mazuri. Na mheshimiwa, ukiona tena infrastructure kwa hizo mashule, wewe unatembelea, umekuwa hata kwetu kule Shamberere Boys na shule zingine kule South, unazijua mheshimiwa. You can use your ways kama baba wetu wa constituency, utusaidie infrastructure ikuwe mwafaka. Kwa CPC inataka credible facilities so that tufanye vizuri. Asante sana mheshimiwa.
Thank you. That is perfect. Can we clap for him? 1, 2, 3. Good. The next person, West. Let me get somebody from West, so that at least I give opportunity. West. Cross-cutting. There are quite a number of issues that maybe you would wish to share with us, so that at least it is an engagement. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And Mheshimiwa, looking at the CBE curriculum, it may not be possible for all schools to have certain facilities. So this is my thought, if it can be adopted. We have schools that have already some facilities. For example, we have Malava Boys with a big field. If we develop and equip it, then other schools can use it to teach PE, for example. And another school, we develop a music lab where practicals can be done, so that we are diversifying the tracks that the learners can pick on. Then we develop it. Then maybe swimming. I know Malava Hotel has a swimming pool. If you can help us at a reasonable fee to be able to enhance those who have a skill in swimming, then we can diversify the areas of learning. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Central. Don't leave this place and say, you know, I also wanted to talk. I've given you the Central. Yes, Central. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our LTN, the Honorable David Ndakwa, and all other guests. Walimu wenzangu, hamjambo? Jina langu nilivyokuwa nimesema ni Kurecho Mehmet, Principal Secondary and Senior School, Namanje. Standing in, representing about 8 colleagues, all the way from Bashere to Manyonji and Matsaha. Yetu yatakuwa machache, Mheshimiwa. Jambo la kwanza ni kwamba tuna changamoto ya miundombinu, hasa barabara. If you got to get to Bashere, utatoa jasho. Jambo la pili ambalo is a challenge is that the entire ward and zone has no county school, not a single one. Tunaitwa tu C4 na majina ya kuelekea huko. Sileo ndio siku ya kumlilia baba. Not that we are incapable of becoming, but we are hampered by a number of facts and factors. The most important one being infrastructure. You get to a school with a population